Okay, I am going to do an overview of this kingdom and the kingdom we are discussing right now. If this emulator will let me open it. And I have to apologize, emulators are inherently very slow and burdensome, and hopefully it doesn't crash. So I'll have to talk over a lot of the slowness. So if it's too boring, I apologize. We are in Kingdom 2936, the Kingdom of Luan. And we have been here open for almost 17 days, and level 1 passes just opened up today. And I'll show you some of the interactions I've seen at the level 1 passes. I've only been monitoring this area up in the northwest quadrant because that's where my city happens to abide, but we'll do an overview of the entire kingdom to get a feel for how everything is starting to look. So here is Rivendell, the northwest quadrant. You can see the different alliances. If you want the details, just simply go into the alliance list and type in the alliance moniker, the 4-digit or 3-digit title, and take a look at them. I may show a couple of them, but it's really hard with this slow emulator. So in Rivendell, you can see some of the dominant ones. Here's one, KM36. This I know is one of the knights. We'll go ahead and look at it. The knights have already formed quite a big family in the kingdom, and I have a feeling they will be the ones that dominate in the end. This is called Mysterious Knights, and they show some of the family, but not all of them. They are currently almost 112 million in strength. And you can look at their alliance members and see how strong they are. It doesn't look like they're whales. It looks like they are all inherently free-to-play organic players, which just shows that they play very well. There are some whales in some of these. One kingdom or one alliance that I know of is one that they've had some interactions with today. Just today, I noticed there was a lot of fighting up here with this Alliance 36TW. And this one, they, it's all a family. I thought that was kind of interesting. They don't have much of a title, but it's not as big. It's only 65 million. But if you look at the alliance members, the size of some of these officers indicate that they are whales. They've put a lot of money, these 4 cities in particular. I've seen some of their action on the map, and I know they have tier 4. I know Mary does. I know this one does, and this one does. And since this one's almost 6 million, it definitely must as well. They all have T4 players. The rest probably are still at T3. I do not see any other whales in there. So pretty much this alliance is dominated by the fact that it's got 4 major players that are whales among their leaders, and which I feel actually makes the alliance kind of weak. They may overpower in some respects, but it's how they play as a family or a team that really matters. So, and I am all about teams. Let me tell you, my one time I really got into baseball was when the team I supported was going to the World Series, and boy, did they play like a team. No dominant personalities. So that's one of the things that I like about an alliance is how they work together as a team. So if we're moving over here, so you can see some of the level 1 passes have been taken possession. This one is owned by that mysterious nice KM36, which I pointed out earlier. It had been originally taken by 36TW, but they weren't able to hold on to it. This alliance has come over from the neighboring area. It looks like they creeped over the pass first and came down before the level 1 pass even opened up. There are some natural passes that people can move from one zone into the next, and this happens to be one right here. And they took advantage of that. They came down, they were able to split them off from the pass, and KM36 was able to take the pass. But the way I saw the action, KM36 took the pass before this split was even made. And there's still some action right here, and there was some action here at the same time. So it was interesting. They put them in a 2-front war. So I anticipate there's going to be a lot more action here again and a lot more action over here again. It appears that the Knights are working together. So we come over here to Spirit Zone, and like I mentioned, this KQ36 is dominant over here. There's another one over here, KV36. Let's see what they say about their alliance, because they have a K. They are among the Knights too. They call themselves Vietnam allies, but Knights Vietnam. So they might be part of the Knights family, although they're not. I guess they are listing all of the KKKH all Knights, so they consider themselves among the Knights family. They are 120 mil strong. I didn't look at, let me go ahead and back up and we'll go look at the KQ36. I know they call themselves the Knights Queens, as opposed to the Knights Kings, which is probably the top one in the entire kingdom. Let's go look at the Knights Queen 36 and their size, and they are at 115 mil. So they're looking good too. So anyone over 100 mil at this time is among the top alliances and the strongest of the alliances. Usually whoever gets to Zone 2 determines who gets to be in the council. So then we come over here, and there's this Reddit one here, and they don't show themselves as part of the Knights. Let's see what they say. I have to look in English. So they show alliances with two other alliances here, but they're only 42 strong. They have a lot of territory, but they're only 42 million strong. So they're not that strong as far as making it to through the level 2 passes. And they don't even actually seem to be building towards the passes from what I can tell. Now it looks like this neighbor is an ally of theirs. And what was the other one they said? This one over here is an ally of theirs. And this one has a good amount of territory. They're up on the edge, which kind of suggests to me that they want to remain at peace with people and probably be left alone. I had an alliance that I was part of, and initially we were in the middle of the action, and then we found ourselves on the edge, working our way down to a level 1 pass, and we liked being on the edge. We were kind of left alone over there for a while until a killing event. Okay, now this one, H4K, they are, if this emulator will let me open, come on, open the app. I wish I could do it in the actual ROK app, but they don't let me grab video in there. So this one's around 49 million, so it's not very, very strong. So it looks like they're just here to have some fun. Welcome to Beautiful Paradox. I like that. It doesn't say anything about going to KVK or any of those things that seem to suggest an aggressive nature towards other alliances. So, and they are allied with Reddit, evidently, or Red T. I don't know how they want me to pronounce it. So over here, we're going into the next zone over, which is Ianshio. And we have this one, TAW, so they don't look like they're allied with the Knights. And then we have this one, KI36, so they look like they're allied with the Knights. So let's look at the size of TAW. Thunder Awaken, I like that name. 59 mil. And they're kind of on the edge too. They're not heading towards the level 2 pass. So it doesn't seem like they'll be among the more aggressive. They've already worked their way up into the Spirit Zone over here in the far corner, but that's not too much of a threat to anyone. Then we have KI36 here, and yes, they're one of the Knights. They're the Knight Intelligent, and they have 141 mil, so they're doing really good. And they're allied with the Knight Kings. I don't know what KH is, maybe Honorable, Knight Queens, and then some friends are listed as well. So, honor and loyalty, not against the kingdom, focused on KVK. Win or lose, we will seek glory in KVK. So that's kind of the neat thing about when they start uniting hopefully that means no one's going to be jockeying so much to be the top dog, and they'll work together as a cohesive team. And then come Lost Kingdom time, it'll be a strong kingdom. I've been in several kingdoms, and when there's been one dominant top dog, it has not been a fun kingdom to fight with. So this looks like it's probably a lower one of them. It looks like it's part of the Knights Garuda, which is KG. And then we have KS36 here. And this one looks like it's going through, oh, they're not calling themselves Knights, Russian Tigers. Okay, so they're not allied with the Knights as far as I can tell. They're 72 mil strong, so they're pretty strong. They are near passes, so definitely are in it to fight, which whether that comes out as an aggressive fighting or a defensive fighting or just playful fun fighting remains to be seen, because I haven't seen their action yet. They are ready to go into level 2, or I mean go through a level 2 pass into zone 2, and they captured this level 1 down here into the next region, and this one was captured, and this is not a very, oh well, maybe it is a big alliance. It looks like it's from the Knights Garuda, little g. Let me see if I can get down in there. Unfortunately, the silly emulator, it is captured by, and of course the counselor wants to tell me, explain things. Okay. It's captured by Knight Garuda. So there are 2 Knight Garuda alliances in here, and so I don't know whether they're working together, whether one's an offshoot of the other, or whether they're completely separate. I have not been doing any of the interacting with the top dog leaders to determine that kind of information. And send feedback. I'd love to send feedback. Your emulator is not working, although I think that feedback was for Rise of Kingdoms, not the emulator. So going down into the next zone, and unfortunately there's still some fog in this area because it's the furthest from me. This whole area in the lower portions will have some fog here and there. I'm 92% cleared, but that still means there's a fair amount of fog to clear. So over here we have the NIR5s, which has a pretty extensive zone here, and they're near passes, but they don't have the passes. Here they're the only ones near this 2 at the moment, but 2 isn't going to open right away. And then over down here there's another one with lighter yellow. It looks like it's A30. No, that looks like this one would be this one here, KN36. The Wiser Dynasty, but they are affiliated with the different knights. So here's the other Knight Garuda moniker. So they are affiliated, it looks like, with the knights, but they are only 65 mil strong. So they're one of the lesser alliances of that family. Let's make sure they're over here by this pass. And here's another one over by that pass, and unfortunately there's a lot of yellow delineation in this zone. So without me clearing the fog, it's not going to be so easy to distinguish which is which. But there's another one here with yellow, and another one down here with yellow. So this happens to be the yellow zone, this Umbar region, which, Umbar kind of makes me think of yellow when I see that name. So it's kind of hard for me to tell who are the strongest ones in the zone because of all the yellow. Here's the other Knights Garuda. I believe this looks like this would be an offshoot of the Knights Garuda because it has the -A. So this says, if it will translate, so this looks like this is their academy, and it's 40 mil strong. It's not their main one, and I don't know where their main one is. We'll see if we find it. I wonder if it's going to be in yellow as well. I don't know if it'll be in this zone or another zone. So let's move over to the next zone and we'll see who's over here. We have this KU36. And let's see if they're one of the knights. Unsullied 36. Okay. They're part of the Knight of Honor family. So it looks like they're part of the family. They're 94 mil strong. Says they're experienced and ready to win KVK. So they look like they're in it for the long haul of getting to the KVK with the whole family, which will make for a good, strong, united kingdom at the right time if at all possible. So I do not know why that keeps popping up. This emulator is not, it's more problematic than BlueStacks and the other one I tried, but the other ones bomb my machine so much that I can't trust them, so I had to remove them. So then here's KH36. I can't tell who this is. It's not too big yet, so I'm not sure there's someone to keep an eye on and get a feel for, but here are the KH36, which is part of the Knights family. They are Knight of Honor, 177 mil strong. That's a nice strong one. And this one actually lists out all of the alliances that they are part of the what they call the family covenant, which means if they have a family covenant this early in the game, a lot of them came into this kingdom already with that relationship formed. They probably are on Discord together or some other social media together and started creating the relationship long before they landed in the kingdom. And they probably all jumped from different kingdoms so that they would grow their cities strong before even coming to this kingdom. At least the leaders likely did. Here's another K in this lower quadrant, and sorry, another area where I need to do a lot more fog clearing. And if this emulator will let us bring it up, this is called Knight Raja Wali. And they are 54 million strong, so not one of the stronger ones, but they do list out 3 of the dominant knight alliances as part of the family. So they are also part of the family. And then if we go up, one more zone to take a look at to see who's strong up here. We still haven't found the Knights Garuda main. I may have to do another look around. So here's the Knights Kings. I believe this is the strongest of the Knights alliances. Let us see for sure. If the emulator will zoom in enough. So, oh, nope, this is one of the small families. Actually, FE36 Alliance. So they just took on the right moniker to appear as a knight, but they're not a knight. So it must be K, lowercase k, for the Knights Kings. So let us see if we can find them. Emulator, zoom out enough. Oh, they would be right up here. And see, it's a capital K, lowercase k for the Knights King. And they are 223 million strong. So this is the strongest alliance in the entire kingdom right now. And they are the ones, I think they are considered the main head of the Knights alliances, the Knights family. So, but I'm not in the know, so I'm not certain of that, but that's what I'm beginning to see. And look how extensive their territory is without others even coming close to imposing on it. This is kind of interesting. If you look at this, no one else was even allowed to build near them. Either they were booted or they were warned off with chat. And I would not be surprised if the latter, if the chat was used as the diplomatic tool to warn people away. So that's the Knights Kings, and then here we're back up to the zone that I know the most about. Well, actually not this zone. I know more about Spirit Zone, but I was watching a lot of the activity over here as they were battling over here because it was a lot of fun to watch and see all the activity. Made me wish I knew a little bit more. But there was, like I said, this one snuck down here and came down here and did a great job of sneaking up on them while they were over here battling against this alliance over here. And look at, there's a lot of area over here where they've knocked out other alliances. So it'll be interesting to see how this gets occupied. Same over here. We'll see how that gets occupied. It'll be interesting. And then over here in the Spirit Zone, same thing. There's a lot of area here around the Knights Queens, that they'll be able to fill in when they can get more flags built or build sub-alliances, which I would anticipate they would end up doing. So that's what it's looking like right now, and you can start seeing who's going after the different territories, and hopefully if you want to, you can look at this video all through it. Soon the second level passes will open up, and those that have access to them will move into the second zone, and we will start seeing more battles going on in there as they try to dominate in order to get to the level 3 passes to see who will succeed in to get into level 3 and become the leaders of the kingdom, and who ultimately will get the crown of king or queen, who will actually obtain if this counselor would go away. I find it so annoying that when you've been playing for a while that you still have to deal with the counselor when you open a new city. To me, that's ridiculous. So anyways, the counselor seems to have hung up the machine, so I will bring this video to a close and wish you Godspeed and sign out.